Hey, I'm going to talk to you about cold exposure and how good it can be for your mental health. So, the first thing, depression, anxiety, insomnia, all of these things can be really helped by ice baths, and there is a lot of research going into this, a lot of popularity. A lot of people are talking about ice baths these days, and there's very good reason for it. And the first reason that it is so good for you is how it affects neurotransmitters in your body. So they have done research, and the research has shown that an ice bath can increase norepinephrine, which is an adrenal hormone, by up to 500%, and it can increase dopamine by up to 300%. And that is incredible, not only because those are increasing dopamine as much as something like cocaine, but the difference here is that the dopamine stays high for hours after the ice bath, whereas other things that raise dopamine like chocolate, nicotine, cocaine, they can last only a few minutes. So this is a really sustainable way to improve your mental health. Inflammation is probably what ice is most famous for. You have probably seen professional athletes in ice baths together, or when you sprain your ankle, someone tells you to put an ice pack on your ankle to reduce the inflammation. And ice baths can do exactly the same thing. It can help us recover quicker from exercise. It can reduce systemic chronic inflammation that leads to a lot of diseases. And yeah, it's tried and tested in all sorts of sports for many years because it really does work. And another benefit of ice baths and cold exposure is the vagal nerve tone that you get from it. So the vagus nerve is this nerve that wanders, vagus, like a vagrant, wanders all the way down our stomach, up through our throat and into our face. And this is the communication between our gut and our brain, going back and forward saying, is this okay? Are we safe? Is everything all right? And ice baths basically make your vagus nerve more resilient. So this is a really important thing for resilience to all sorts of stress. It translates not just to resilience to ice baths, but you can then take that resilience into work stress, life stress, parental stress, all kinds of stress. You're going to be able to take on more without getting so overwhelmed. You know, sometimes after a really big event, you can actually feel really down. So I had my stag do the other week. It was a big event for me. And then the next day, I just felt so low. Same thing can happen with depression, postpartum depression, weddings, any big event. What happens is your baseline dopamine actually goes down below where it was before you were in the lead up to that event. So that's why it's really important to look after dopamine around Christmas and New Year, because there's going to be some big exciting days, and then you're going to have some really low days afterwards. And it's going to be important to do things like ice baths and other healthy, sustainable things that replenish dopamine, like taking some time off social media, not going on the news, not checking emails too much, because those are all things that can really deplete dopamine and leave you feeling really quite sad. Pain tolerance. We all would like to be a bit more tolerant to pain, and ice baths can help with that too. And if you have ever been pregnant, I haven't, you will know that it is often quite common for pregnant women to be encouraged to put their hands into bowls of ice just to practice pain tolerance, increasing the amount of stress and pain they can take. And again, ice baths, cold showers, these things can increase your tolerance to pain in all areas of life.